In a world full of change, strong brands endure. Think about it. Many of the world's most iconic newspapers and magazines no longer print on paper. They're now fully digital, but they're not gone. In fact, many have thrived. Why? Because of one thing: the brand. Their audiences didn't love the paper. They loved the brand, the values, the voice, the credibility. That's what carried over into the digital age. And that's exactly what we'll talk about today: how to build brands that inspire loyalty and survive disruption. Let's start with the basics. A brand is not just a name or a logo. It's not your colors, your tagline, or your product. Brand is a promise that you make and deliver to your customers. It is what people think and feel about your offering. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. Brands live in the mind of the customer and represent their perception of your quality, performance, and meaning. According to many analysts, a brand is the major enduring asset of a company, outlasting the company's specific products, services, and facilities. If Coca-Cola, for example, loses all their products and services, but retains only its brand, it could rebuild them from scratch. That's why your brand is your most enduring asset. Products change, services evolve, but a strong brand can outlive them all. Here's a visualization of why branding is so important. As you can see, time works in favor of strong brands. Over time, strong brands inspire loyalty, provide focus and clarity, glue both internally and externally, and also differentiate you from the crowd. The true power of branding lies in something called brand equity. What is brand equity? Brand equity is the value a brand holds based on brand awareness, how well people know you; brand loyalty, how committed are they to your products and services; perceived quality, what do they believe about your performance; brand associations, the feelings and stories linked to you. Ad agency Young & Rubicam's Brand Asset Valuator measures brand strength along 4 customer perception dimensions. Differentiation, what makes the brand stand out; relevance, how customers feel it meets their needs; knowledge, how much customers know about the brand; and esteem, how highly customers regard and respect the brand. A powerful brand has high brand equity, and brands with high equity rate high on all 4 dimensions. Overall, brand equity is the differential effect that knowing the brand name has on customer response to the product and its marketing. Positive brand equity derives from customer feelings about and connections with the brand. A brand has positive brand equity when customers react more favorably to it than to a generic or unbranded version of the same product. And it has negative brand equity if customers react less favorably than to an unbranded version. Brand equity is also a measure of the brand's ability to capture customer preference and loyalty. Here's a visual map on how customers move to favorable actions towards the brand. By trying the product and repeating purchasing, customers become loyal to the brand. Brands with strong equity provide a sustainable competitive advantage. They command higher bargaining power, lower marketing costs relative to revenue, higher customer retention rate, and faster adoption of new products under the same brand umbrella. In a competitive environment, brands with strong brand equity tend to reduce the price elasticity of demand. Meaning, if customers prefer and trust your brand, they can still choose you over competitors, even if you have raised your prices and are not the most competitive provider out there. A powerful brand is important because what it really represents is a profitable set of loyal customers. Strong brand equity forms the basis for building strong and profitable customer relationships. That's why the fundamental asset underlying brand equity, the purpose of having strong brand equity, is customer equity, the value of customer relationships that the brand creates. Thus, the proper focus of marketing is building customer equity, with brand management serving as a major marketing tool. So remember, strong brand equity helps you build strong customer equity, which is valuable customer relationships. But what is brand made of? Here is a visual representation of the elements that make a brand. At the core is the promise your customers perceive they will get from your brand. And it's augmented by your brand's name, image, logo, positioning, and identity, which communicate the benefits, personality, associations, and perceptions of your brand. So brands are more than just names and symbols. They represent customers' perceptions and feelings about the product and its performance, everything that the product or the service means to customers. Thus, before they respond to the brand, they must first know about it and understand it. And that familiarity must lead to a strong, positive customer-brand connection. So how do you build strong brand equity for your localization company? It begins with strategic branding decisions. In building brands, companies need to decide about brand positioning, brand name selection, brand sponsorship, and brand development. Let's walk through each one. Brand positioning. As one well-respected marketer once said, products are created in the factory, but brands are created in the mind. Companies need to think of themselves not as portfolios of products and services, but as portfolios of customers. And because brands exist in the heads of the customers, companies need to position them very clearly in their minds. You can position your brand at 3 levels. The level of attributes, the technical features or specifications of your products. In general, however, attributes are the least desirable level for brand positioning. Competitors can easily copy attributes. More importantly, customers are not interested in attributes as such. They're interested in what the attributes will do for them. The level of benefits. What the customer gains out of the product. This level is more desirable as, while customers understand and take advantage of the benefits, they show preference to the brand. However, there is always a risk that rival brands can always come up with more or more attractive benefits and thus shift customer preference towards their products. The level of beliefs and values. A deeper emotional connection like sustainability or innovation. The most powerful brand positioning builds around strong customer beliefs and values. That's where loyalty begins. One of the most relatable stories is the story of Apple. Apple became a symbol of innovation and challenging the status quo. It promotes the value of facing the unknown by taking risks, with the noble mission to create products and services that empower those who think they can change the world. To this day, Steve Jobs has this mythical image of the genius who was brave enough to challenge the world and introduce some of the most revolutionary innovations. As a result, the Apple brand captures its fans through their beliefs and values, and they become loyal brand ambassadors who remain blind for alternative products. Just think of the Apple's iPhone. It doesn't matter what attributes, functionalities, or benefits other manufacturers will produce to the market. Apple users will always prefer the iPhone as long as the company sticks to its values. That also allows Apple to apply price skimming and charge premium for its products, though other brands might provide products with more attributes or customer benefits. The brand's positioning must be continuously communicated to the customers. Advertising can help. However, brands are not maintained by advertising, but by customers' brand experiences. Brand name selection. Brand name selection involves finding the best brand name based on a careful review of product benefits, the target market, and the proposed marketing strategies. This must seem simple, but it's critical. Your name should be distinctive, memorable, relevant, and legally protectable. Personally, I like Alexandra Watkins' Smile Scratch framework for brand name selection. These are both abbreviations. A smile brand name is one that is suggestive, evokes something about your brand; memorable, makes a familiar association; imagery, adds memory through evocative visuals; lex, lends itself to a theme for extended mileage; emotional, moves people. And a brand name should be scratched if it is spelling challenged, looks like a typo; copycat, resembles competitors' names; restrictive, limits future growth; annoying, seems forced, frustrates customers; tame, feels flat, descriptive, uninspired; curse of knowledge, speaks only to insiders; hard to pronounce, confuses customers. Revisit the brands you operate within your localization company. Are they smile or should they be scratched? Remember, brand name is a key element in building a strong brand equity. And you need a strong brand equity to build strong customer equity, which means building valuable customer relationships. Brand sponsorship. This is about who owns the brand. Manufacturer's brand like Sony or Apple, private brand, a store brand like Amazon Basics, licensed brand, think Star Wars or a Lego box, co-branding like Intel inside a Dell laptop. Each model comes with unique benefits and strategic implications. A manufacturer has 4 brand sponsorship options. It can launch a national brand or manufacturer's brand, sell to resellers who use a private brand, market licensed brands, or join forces with another company to co-brand a product. Brand development. A company also has 4 choices when it comes to developing brands. It can introduce line extensions, brand extensions, multi-brands, or new brands. So you have 4 main growth strategies: line extensions, new flavors or formats of an existing product; brand extensions, launching new categories under the same brand; multi-brands, introducing other brands in the same category; new brands, creating fresh identities for different markets. But remember, the more you stretch a brand, the more you must protect its core meaning. Now, let's talk about brand management. Companies must build and manage their brand carefully. They must periodically audit their brand strengths and weaknesses, because branding isn't a one-time event, it's a continuous process. Yes, advertising is important. It creates awareness, recognition, and maybe even preference. But here's the truth. Brands aren't built by ads. They are built by customer experience. Today, customers form options through dozens of touchpoints: personal interactions, customer service calls, social media, online reviews, your website, and of course, word of mouth. So customers come to know a brand through a wide range of contacts and interactions. The company must put as much care into managing these touchpoints as it does into producing its ads. Every touchpoint either strengthens or weakens your brand. That's why companies must manage the full brand experience, not just the logo or the meaning. So how do you build a brand that lives inside your company? It starts with your people. Every employee should understand the brand, embody its values, and feel pride in delivering its promise, because when your team believes, your customers can feel it. Here is a visualization of what makes a brand successful. It takes clear positioning and values, great products and services, sound business basics, and projected leadership. Let's bring it all together. In a time of disruptive innovation, your brand is your anchor. It keeps loyal customers from drifting away. It helps you launch new products faster, and it gives your business a reputation buffer, one that new entrants can't match easily. So if you're wondering how to adapt to AI, automation, or increasing global competition, start by strengthening your brand. Because while technology evolves to expand attributes and increase benefits, beliefs and values are much more difficult to change, and loyal customers are much harder to convert. I am Nick Ivanov, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.